Hey guys, how are you? So I want to talk to you about my experience of moving to UK. So if you don't know, I was in UK from 2016 to 2021, and then I moved back to India for 2 years, and I stayed in Bangalore. Now, just 3 months back, I moved back to UK on a skilled worker visa. So wanted to share my experience with you, and also tell you how things have changed in UK, because I know that till 2021 what was the situation and now what is the situation, because you might have heard about the cost of living crisis in UK and how it is affecting everyone in UK. So uh, of course there are like various routes via which you can come to UK, or new job, or on a dependent visa, on a student visa. So there are various routes. So I'm not talking about like what can you do to come to UK. I'm talking about if you are coming to UK, then what can you expect? Basically, from a point of view of the expenses, the accommodation, the culture here, the weather, so all those things. So starting off with, the most obvious thing or the most easy thing is weather. So you might have already heard that it always rains in UK. So and that is true. So whenever you're coming here, be prepared, get an umbrella, and be prepared for rain. It can happen anytime. In the morning if it's sunny, just 1 hour later it can rain, and it can continue raining for 3 days. So be prepared for that. And yeah, it's and most of the year it's a bit cold, like 10-12 degrees, and in peak winter, like from December to Feb March, it will be like 0 degree, 1 degree. Sometimes it can even go to -1 or -2, but it doesn't snow that much in London, at least. So I'm staying in London, by the way. So, but in the north of UK, if you are like going to live near the north, maybe towards Scotland, etc., then there it snows quite a lot, and there the temperature is even lower. So be prepared for that, depending on in which region of UK you are going to sit. So bring warm clothes with you. That's the main thing. In terms of like how we will find like day-to-day life here, so UK is actually very cosmopolitan, especially London, big cities like Birmingham and these big cities. They have a lot of Indian population, Pakistani population, Bangladeshi population, and you get all the stuff that you can get in India, all the different kind of spices, Indian products, etc. So if you are someone who like wants to eat only, the Asian food, South Asian food, then you won't have any problem here. Everything is available. You just need to know where to look. And there are specific communities or areas here where these food products or the spices or the grocery items are sold. So it's Wembley, Harrow, uh, and Southall. I'm sure you must all know about Southall, because it is the area that is shown in the movies. That it's basically an Asian area, which is actually true. A bit too Asian for my taste, but still. So these three areas, you can get anything if you want, or Indian products, Indian grocery, even Indian clothes, and same goes for, like, I'm from India, so I'm talking about Indian clothes, but same goes for Pakistan, Sri Lanka, Bangladesh. Everything you can find in these areas. Uh, so so I have made a list like what I want to talk to you about. So this was about the weather, the general culture. In terms of general culture, I think you can. It's very hospitable country, or like how do you say it? It's very welcoming. So I mean, people are very nice to each other. Even like while walking, while going, people will look at you, will smile and greet you, which is generally not. We are not used to this. Coming from South Asia, we don't generally greet strangers, etc., but that is not the case here. So people can greet you while walking, strangers greeting you. So it's a polite way to just acknowledge and greet them back. That is, I think, the general culture here. And they here people love to follow rules. So coming from South Asia, I know that we are not that much, uh, sorry to say, but not that much like followers of rules. But here it's very like strict in terms of rules, especially like driving rules. I don't drive here. I am planning to get a driving license, so that is a separate like thing altogether, separate process. It's not that easy as it's in South Asia. So people follow queues, people follow rules, the street crossings, etc. It is, so you need to be uh, knowledgeable about these rules. Like just look on general do's and don'ts online, you will easily find that, and just follow it. It's not that you will be penalized, or like a fine will be imposed if you don't follow those rules, like but it's a polite way of uh, acclimatizing to the new place that you are going to go, and you are planning to settle in the new place. So it's always a good thing to know about the local rules, regulations, and try to follow those. Yeah, but the driving rules are very strict. You can get your driving license cancelled if you break the rules too many times. So you can just read up on that online. Um, Next thing I want to talk about is like after you have come to the UK. So of course the first thing is, where do you stay? Now, if you are staying in London or nearby areas or the Greater London areas, then you need to plan. It requires a lot of planning because the rent here is like exorbitant. It's too high compared to the South Asia countries, and it has even increased. Like that I was here till 2021, and now I have gotten a flat again. So the rent has like increased more than 50%. So yep, I mean, it is actually very difficult to find a good place at a reasonable amount. So you need to house hunt a lot, and of course it depends on the area. So if you want to live close to central London, then I mean, if you have enough salary, then you can think about it, because in central London, the rent could go up to £2,000, £2,500 for 1 BHK. So generally people tend to stay a bit far from central London. So like I am staying in the Greater London area, so one of the areas, like which is closer to the South Asian community areas. So it's nearby Harrow. It's called Ruislip. So I stay here, and on an average, I think for a couple, if you are coming as a student, then of course you can share uh, a flat with other people. So that will actually be very beneficial, like in terms of cost saving. But if you are a couple, or like you want to live in your own flat, so if you are single and want to live in your own flat, then probably a studio will suit, and studio will you will get probably 1200 to 1500 pounds depending on the area, and 1 BHK you will get around 1500, 1400 to 1500 pounds. Again, if you uh, try to live in a good posh area, then it will go up, and if you are okay with living a bit far off, then it will be not that expensive. Now for a couple, I think depending on how much also household items do you have, I would suggest do not try to bring everything from India here in terms of furnitures and all those things, else you will struggle. We did, because houses here in UK are not that big as you're used to in India. In India, you can get a decently sized 2 BHK for, like even in Delhi or Bangalore, like 20, even in 20,000. Of course, again it varies a lot in India also, but the houses are, or the flats are generally bigger in India compared to UK. And if you want a similarly sized flat or a house in UK, then the rent will be, I mean, quite high. Whatever I told you, like 1500 pounds, 2000 pounds, it will be much higher than that. So I mean, we got a 2 BHK house, and as I told you that it was like more than 50% increase over my past. So if you want a like a 2 BHK, then yeah, 1600 to 2000 pounds if you're staying in the Greater London area. It can even be higher, but I think you can find a decent uh, flat here in this range. And as you move closer to like central London, it will be like 2,500 to 3,000. So for 1 BHK, I think you can get from 1,400 to 1,600 range, again in the greater London area. So I mean, you have to search a lot. I did searched a lot and saw quite a few places, but ultimately because we actually got a lot of furniture from India. When we had a lot of clothes, etc., a lot of suitcases. So I mean, 1 BHK was not suitable for us, so we had to take 2 BHK, and hence, the we are paying this exorbitant rent. But if you can manage it, I will suggest maybe come only with your suitcases and with winter clothes, and take a furnished apartment here, maybe a 1 BHK, so that you don't have to buy any furniture separately. And then the rent you will probably be 1,400, 1,500. You will get a decent enough flat. So this was about accommodation. So I will not go into which area you should live at. So I already told you that there are a few areas which cater to the Asian stuff. So the Harrow is one of the area. Wembley is another area. Southall, of course, is there. So you can check about it. Basically, it's called the West London, Greater Northwest. Yeah, Northwest London area. So you can find these areas in this region. So yep, that was about accommodation. Now the other expenses. So grocery, of course, it is. If you look at it, some things are actually, generally most of the things are of course expensive than India, but some things are almost similar. So for a grocery, again depends on you. So if you are a couple, then probably 250 to 300 pounds per month should suffice. So I mean, if you're not having like 3 course meal twice a day, then yeah, it 250 to 300 pounds. The Indian stuff that you get here is not that cheap, so it will be slightly expensive, and hence if you eat more, you pay more. But yeah, on an average, you can consider around 300 pounds for groceries. Then travel is of course another big expense. Travel is also like quite expensive here, but yeah, public transport is very good, so you don't need to worry about anything. I did not get a car here for 5 years, from 2016 to 2021, and still I don't have a car. But I did not face any problem anytime, like how do I go there, because the public transport is very good. It's a bit expensive but good. So if you are someone who goes to office every day, then probably you can keep aside like 150 pounds, 150 200 pounds per month for travel, and plus weekend trips, etc. You can keep probably 200 to 250 pounds if you are like a single earning couple. If both are earning, then of course you can calculate accordingly. And I'm not talking about the cab expenses here. I'm only talking about the bus or the metro. Yeah. Metro, I mean, here it's called tube. So that's what I am considering in this, like around 150 to 200 pounds for travel. Then of course the miscellaneous expenses, you like the coffee, etc. You will do monthly shopping, so probably around 300 pounds for that. So let me calculate. So if I calculate, so if you get a 1 BHK, which will be I think around 1500. I mean, if you get something like 1500, which is like in a decent area, plus you can assume 300 for groceries, plus you can assume, I think I'm assuming single earning couple, 200 for travel, plus shopping, etc. for 300. So this comes to 2300. Now to add to this, the other part will be, in addition to rent, will be the fixed costs related to council tax. So here in UK, there is something called council tax that you pay to the local council. In equivalent terms, in India, you have the municipality. So this is basically a council tax. Council is equivalent to the local municipality. So you pay the council tax, which can come to around anywhere between 150 to 200 pounds, depending on the area you live in, and whether you are single or couple. That also makes a difference, because a single person gets I think a 25% discount on that. So assuming you are a couple, let's consider like 150 per month. It could be 150 to 180 depending on area, but let's consider 150. So you can add that to a fixed rent, on a fixed cost in addition to the rent. And on top of that, you will have like the water bill, the electricity and heating charges. So as you know, in UK, all the homes have inbuilt heaters. So it could be gas heater or could be electric heater, but it is there. So, and it will, of course, it's a energy, sort of energy, so you will have to pay for it, just like you pay for electricity. So water charges, electricity charges and heating charges, these are on top of your rent plus council tax. So these are sort of your fixed cost that will anyway go from your salary. So the energy charges and the water charges, I think in total will come to around 150 pounds per month. You can reduce it by uh, using less electricity, less heating. But yeah, I think 150 is a reasonable estimation. And of course, you will have your internet if you take cable, any other mobile mobile subscription, etc. So it will be, I think, around 50 to 100 pounds. Let's assume 100 pounds. If you take, more premium cable packages, more unlimited data, etc. So I have just added the total up here. So it is coming out to be around 2,700 pounds. So for a single earning couple, I mean, this is the ballpark cost or the ballpark expense that you can expect every month. If you take 1 BHK, if you take 2 BHK, you can add 200 to 300 extra. Even council tax is more if you take a 2 BHK. So you can estimate like your expenses will be 2,700, and assuming 100, 200 up or down, it will be anywhere between 2,500 to 3,000. So I mean, you can estimate your how much salary you need accordingly. So if you are earning something around 50,000 per annum, you will get around 3,000, 3,100 in hand. So with this expenses that I just told you about, it will be a bit difficult because you will just have like 300 to 400 pounds in hand per month. So it's a bit cut to cut, and you are not saving that much. And of course, you should have some extra buffer just in case of emergencies. So then, if that is the case, then you will have to think like where you can cut down. Maybe take the flat or apartment in a more further area away from London, basically, which might have rent only like 1,200, 1,300. So you can save a couple of hundred there. Accordingly, council tax will also be less. In groceries or in the fixed cost like the internet and the cable, you can save a bit, and you can maybe reduce it to like 2,400, 2,500, which will give you 200-300 more like as saving per month. But if you are in the like range of earning in the range of 60,000 to 70,000, then I think you will still be able to save 600, 700 per month. And if you're earning about that, I mean, you can easily afford that. Even think of a 2 BHK. So this is like the rough estimate that I have made based on my experience. And yes, it is expensive, so you have to manage it. So I mean, if you have coming from the South Asian countries, with even lower salary, you can live a better lifestyle in those countries, because uh, there the facilities are actually much better compared to UK. I mean, in terms of the availability of people to help you out. Like here, if something goes wrong in your electrical system or the plumbing, etc., the plumber charges, the those carpenter charges, plumber charges, electrician charges are like too high here. In India, that's not the case. I mean, if you live in a flat in India, then of course you might even get it done for free. So these are some differences. So in general, you will not be able to maintain a similar lifestyle to India here in UK. I mean, even if you are like in absolute terms, you will be earning more than India here. But I mean, how the all the things are structured in terms of the facilities here in UK versus in India, it's completely different. I mean, it's not comparable. Because in UK, I mean, it's more like a do-it-yourself concept that most of the things people here do by themselves. Whether it's like cleaning the house, washing, etc. But in India, of course, you know the system. Even India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, in whichever South Asia country. So you need to keep that in mind. But here, of course, I mean, you come here for a different reason. If you come here solely for the purpose of earning money, I mean, you can earn, but if you compromise on your lifestyle, I mean, it's up to you. You just want to move abroad, then yeah, I mean, you can come here, but do not come here for a better like earning, etc. So I think that was all from my side. Let me know if you have any queries. uh, I just wanted to tell you the truth about the UK. I mean, I like it here, and even though it's expensive, more expensive than in India, but yeah, I mean, I like it here. So yeah, it works out for me. And so you need to be very clear about why are you moving to UK. And yep, that was it from my side. I will keep posting related videos about life in the UK. If I'm going to some place, I will be posting around like my travel vlogs, etc. So please like and subscribe. And if you have any questions, please do write in the comments and let me know. All right, see you. Cheers.